That is outstanding. All right, we'll get these two seated and then we shall begin. Here's my stage manager. Is she back in? Stage manager? Ready? Good. Stand by. Let's do this. Stand by. Stand by. Let's do this. Stand by. Okay. Our last two. Beautiful. 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 Wonderful. Lovely. Even lovelier. We have more. Here we go. Even more. Lovely. Just do the COVID spread thing. I got teachers, they know the drill. They can do COVID blindfold. They wrote the book on COVID. I'll see your COVID and I'll match your two COVIDs. But play your name later. Come on, teachers, I got a shoulder around here. All right. No, we're good. This is loosey-goosey. COVID-y, but loosey-goosey COVID-y. Come on down. We're waiting for you. All right. First and foremost, good afternoon. Secondly, and I cannot tell you how long I have waited to say these words, it is so nice to see. I've waited a year to say those words. And welcome to our new house. It's so great to have you here, where we're going to create new, great traditions. We're all about that at 826. My name is Kevin O'Leary. I'm the director of the Morse Drama family, and today you will see before your very eyes our 20th, let me say that one more time with emphasis, our 20th, uno más, our 20th consecutive student-written play. We are the only school in the entire state of Maine that does an original student-written one-act play every year. We are incredibly proud of that. So thank you for being here for our 20th. This is Senior Katie Card's Dear Childhood. It's been an amazing journey. I don't have to tell parents what the last 14 months have been like. You can write your own one act about that. But we're here. We're here together. The play is about 55 minutes. If you would please take the time right now to turn off all your cell phones, pagers, and beepers. There's no photography of any kind and no videotaping. Jonas Smith is recording the whole thing. So we'll have it for you. Just please don't take any pictures and please don't videotape anything. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with honor beyond honor that I introduce to you the world premiere of Senior Katie Card's Dear Childhood.
This week's assignment is rather simple. As you all know, you're nearing the final semester of your senior year in college, and you're about to be set loose into the real world. So, why don't we take a look back into the past? I want each of you to write 4 journal entries about your life. What you discuss is up to you. Class is dismissed.
Hey, Rose. Is everything okay? Oh, let me guess. Boy drama? Wait, that's definitely wrong. Girl drama?
No drama. Just a dumb assignment for Bennett's class. Well, it's not dumb per se, but my mind is dead and doesn't want to work properly. Like, it's April of our senior year. Why would you give us a giant assignment that we actually have to think about? Why can't I write whatever pops into my head?
Creative writing. You know, for someone who claims to love it so much, you always seem to have plenty of complaints.
I just like being able to get all of my thoughts out of my head and onto paper. But But now we have to write 4 entries about our childhood, which shouldn't be hard, but
You have absolutely no idea where to start? I don't know why you're asking for my advice. I will be no help to you, guaranteed.
well, seeing as you're a pre-med student, I wasn't really asking for your advice. But yeah, I have absolutely no idea where to start.
Well, you grew up in a small town, didn't you? There's gotta be tons of stories you can tell.
Not really. But anyway, it's not a big deal. It's Wednesday, I don't have any classes tomorrow, and I have literally all the time in the world to just sleep and not think about school. Like, I'll think about anything at this point, even my future. So, you free tomorrow? I could really use a movie night, you know.
Well, unlike someone, I have to work. Again, school doesn't pay for itself, and not all of us want to be in debt for the rest of our lives.
Aren't you going to school on a scholarship?
It's making a point about you, not me. Besides, have you put any thought into what you want to do after graduation? I mean, I know you do some work at the library, but maybe you should take some time and plan the next few months out.
Lydia, look, I'm not like you, okay? Miss Rose here has no worries about what I'm going to do tomorrow. Because if I spend the rest of my life worrying about the future, then I'm just going to end up stuck there.
Oh, really? Well, what about stuck in your past?
What?
I mean, you say all the time that you love to live in the present, but what made younger you so hesitant about thinking about the future? There's got to be something there. I think that you need to figure out whatever it is so that you can confront it and move on, because it's your senior year and it's time to grow up, Rose. Okay, I gotta get to work, but I will pick up some groceries on the way home, and see you later.
Figure out how to move on? It's not like anything bad happened in my childhood that made me not want to think about it. At least I can't remember anything bad. Maybe I don't remember as much about my childhood as I thought I did. Well, I remember my friends at least, even if I haven't spoken to them in, I don't know, probably years now. I mean, you know how it goes. You go to different schools, you drift apart. It's sad, but that's life. I just wish we had stayed close, and I wish I could tell them that. Dear Cecil, we were always spending all of our free time outside. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, as you always kept a book on you, and you never stopped reading. You're always like that, always more immersed in the fictional world than the real one. I didn't really understand it, but I wonder what you're doing now.
Ha! Oh, come on, nothing. Seriously, you're no fun sometimes. Probably grew up too soon.
Well, you tried to scare me in the exact same way every recess. It doesn't scare me anymore.
Whatever, Mr. Boring. What you reading anyway? Is it something fun this time? You should try reading something fun. Might make you act more like a kid. Wait, I thought you couldn't bring library books outside.
Hey, I'm still a kid. Not all of us can have as much energy as you. And I brought this book from home. My mom got it for me for my birthday. She said she really liked it.
Is it an adventure story? Like lists to watch smuggling pirates, or finding hidden treasure, epic battles? Or is it some love story with beautiful princesses, daring rescues, and cheesy lovey-dovey lines that just make you want to play? So if it's none of those, what is it about? Is it good at least?
Well, I think so. I'm not done with it yet, and I don't really understand it. It's about a prince that lives on a rock in space with a flower. But, like I said, I don't really understand it yet.
Sounds kind of cool. So what else happens in the book?
I was an excitable child with a knack for never sitting still. When you are a quiet kid, always immersing yourself in some book. It didn't really make much sense, but I've said that before. I'm getting kind of redundant. I don't know what you're up to, but hopefully you enjoy what you're doing.
Well, do you want to keep talking about my books? I thought you found it boring to just sit around and talk all day.
I don't find it boring. Okay, well, I find it a little boring, but that's just because I have trouble paying attention, that was all. I promise I don't actually find the stuff you like boring.
Well, you did call me Mr. Boring when you tried to scare me earlier.
But I didn't mean it, promise. Here, I'll cross my heart over it.
I know you were joking.
I believe you, promise.
I just don't get it. How you like books so much?
Well, sometimes it's just fun to read about other people's lives, especially when mine's so boring. But I think I've had enough for today.
Well, if you don't want to talk about your books, what do you want to talk about?
We haven't spoken in years. Probably maybe 3. It saddens me, but that's just how life goes. You drift apart, you grow up. But that's okay, because you were still a part of my life, even if it was only for a few years. Part of me still hopes that you kept stayed with your bookworm phase all through life. You probably didn't, but I just wish that you found something to be just as passionate about. Sincerely, Rose.
Growing up is weird, isn't it? I mean, why should people be forced to change, to grow mean and full of hatred? Being a child is the best. I mean, sure, I'm only 8 years old, but all the adults in my life just seem so sad that I wonder why they decided to grow up in the first place. My mom says growing up is just a part of life, but I don't see how it has to be that way. I mean, sure, I'll grow old, but grow up? I think I like my childhood a little too much to do that. Oh well, even if I grow up, at least I remember my friends.
How long has she been asleep?
10 minutes maybe. I haven't really been paying attention.
Hey, Rose. Rose. Earth to Rose. Oh, wake up, you big sleepyhead.
Good God, good morning to you too, Lydia.
Jeez. How much sleep did you get last night? 4 hours? No, I've seen you function fine on 4. 2 hours? Oh, please tell me that you slept.
I think you
No.
got your point across, Liz. No reason to give the poor girl a lecture at 10 in the morning. It's not like the first time you do it anyway.
Oh, get back to work. Honestly, I think May does more than you, and she's only been here for 2 months.
She likes me more.
Well, you tolerated me for like 2 years. That's got to count towards something.
I got 3 hours of sleep. I'm fine. Besides, I'm all day to sleep in the cafe and do absolutely nothing.
You know, that doesn't change the fact that you fell asleep in the cafe at 10 in the morning. I swear, one day you're either going to keel over from your exhaustion or from the fact that your coffee addiction has completely killed your insides. Can't believe I have to be the one to condone this addiction just because I work here.
And Lydia, the mother hen, has made a long-awaited return.
Oh, shut up.
Wait, you're good at it.
That's not really a compliment.
I'm sorry? Good at what?
You know, like hurting people around and such, being like their mom. Not that it's like a bad thing. I'm not trying to sound criticizing or whatever. It's nice, you know, caring about people.
How about you try growing up with 5 younger siblings and not hurting them around? I had to be the so-called mother hen in that house so that they could grow up and be the best version of themselves now. Because somebody has to be the responsible one, and it's clearly not you.
Are you saying she's not responsible? Since you just admitted to hurting her around.
If I did, I didn't mean it in the slightest. Rose is perfectly responsible and doesn't need me constantly pestering her. She's a senior in college. She gets her head stuck in the clouds sometimes.
More like her head stuck in a notebook. Speaking of which,
I don't know why I bother, honestly.
I don't even think I can have some work.
He does, occasionally, but never when I'm here.
Because he knows we'll pick up the slack.
so what's been keeping Miss Rose up so late she only gets 3 hours of sleep?
It's nothing. It's just some homework.
So you stayed up all night doing an assignment you didn't even have the next day? What? Your words, not mine.
Wow. Do you eavesdrop much?
Yeah, I get pretty bored here. You can't imagine some of the stories I've heard working here.
Yeah, you're right. I really don't want to know. But really, it's nothing. It's just some homework for Bennett's class to write some letters about our childhood.
Cecil, huh? The friend of yours?
Yeah, why?
Well, it's simple then. If you're having an issue, write the other stories about some other friends in your life.
Well, yeah, but,
Here, this one's on the house. No need to pay me if you're gonna keep the addiction up.
aw, thank you, Lydia.
Someone's mood seemed to have improved.
Okay, one, don't patronize me, Dustin. And two, like I said, no need to thank me because it's on the house.
Well, if you're at least condoning my so-called coffee addiction, I should at least pay you for it.
No, you could always repay me by making dinner later. I am sick of getting takeout.
Deal, but only if I can pick a movie.
I can live with that. Okay, new rule. No more homework in the
I
cafe.
have stuff to do, Lydia.
No, not important. You're out, you're with your friends. You don't always have to be writing those. Did you seriously finish that already? That is so concerning.
And impressive. At least it's not drugged. What? All I'm saying is essentially, it's just caffeine addiction. It's not like it can kill you. Like, you overdose on caffeine? You know, forget everything I just said.
Oh, you didn't take another tennis ball to the head, did you?
No. Not this week. As far as I can tell.
You know, you think you might remember something like that.
Well, at least I'm outside and having fun.
Yeah, but you never do it.
Okay, this seems a little bit unnecessary.
Whatever, it's just good natured teasing. Makes the shit way less boring.
Speaking of which, we need to get back to work. Come on.
I thought I had out to. Me and Quinn at the library to study for a final together.
Oh, fun. If Jess is with them, will you tell them they're supposed to be working tomorrow?
Noted, but don't blame me when they don't show up.
See you tonight.
Bye. Honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for Dustin and Lydia. Not much of a social or outgoing person, so I try to surround myself with people with more than enough social grace to cover for me. Dear Beatrice, we were friends in middle school with a friendship that can only last during those years. It didn't make much sense to us then, but sometimes you need to willingly go through whatever life puts you through to be who you're meant to be. At least, that's what middle school was for me. A series of trials to figure out who I really was in life. It was, rough, to put it lightly. I pushed my friends away, and I kept them at a distance out of fear that they wouldn't like who I really was. But you never let me do that. You never let me push myself away from you.
Anybody else bored out of their minds? I mean, come on. This is just another one of those cheesy romance movies.
Well, I think that's good. You're just saying that because you think the lead actor's hot.
Yeah, because he is. I mean, just look at him here. You can't tell me you don't think he's attractive.
Just because you think the lead actor's hot doesn't mean the movie's any good.
Obviously, he's not what makes it good. The story is so beautiful. This quiet, charming, and rugged man falls in love with a kind, down-to-earth girl, and they get married and move to the countryside. I mean, isn't it just romantic? I want a future like that.
Even if you think the movie is good, which is totally fine, by the way. You have to admit, the story is so cliche. I got bored just reading the plot summary.
Yeah, whatever. You get stick in the mud for all I care. You two, obviously, have no taste. What about you, Rose?
Huh?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't really paying attention.
Huh. Rose, who never criticizes anything, found the movie boring. This movie stinks and you have bad taste. End of discussion.
You good?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm just gonna go get something to drink.
Think I'll join you. I'm kind of hungry, and I better get more pizza before Anne does.
Looking back at it now, I'm realizing just how much I missed out on. I never shared much, didn't really put myself out there, and what little you guys did know about me wasn't even entirely true. I decided somewhere along the line I had to shut myself off out of fear of being judged. I still wonder to this day how you saw through it all.
Are you sure you're okay? You just don't seem like yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Sleepovers just aren't really my thing, you know, but I didn't want to miss out on anything.
You know, none of us would have blamed you if you didn't come. I mean, Anne and Claire probably would have acted annoyed. But you know, deep down, we all care about you.
Well, you know what? Never mind. It's kind of hard to explain.
No, this is a judgment-free zone, and we have all night, so speak your mind.
I don't feel like I'm really existing.
You don't feel like you exist? Huh.
man.
It feels like I'm just floating through life, one day at a time. Not really living, but I just can't bring myself to change. Like it's perfectly content being empty, even though I hate it. See, I told you it'd be hard to explain. Let's just go back upstairs and finish watching the movie.
You're right, that does seem hard to explain. And trust me, the movie is not worth watching. I looked it up earlier. Let's just stay down here. So, you don't feel like you exist. Well, the way I see it, you might just have to let yourself float for a while. When I was younger, my older brother told me you need to travel the ocean to reach the shore. Sometimes you need to just let yourself be.
Thanks, Dee.
You know, we're your friends, even when you feel off.
Yeah, you guys are my friends. Even if Aunt steals my food constantly, or if Claire has questionable taste in movies, or if you decide to do your makeup at 10 p.m. for whatever reason.
Hey, I like the process. It's methodical. And I got bored. But we're your friends, no matter what. We got you.
Yeah, I know.
Is this a group hug? Let me join. I want in.
You always seem to know what was going on in my head, even when I didn't. At first I hated the fact that someone could see through all the walls that I put up, but as time went on I began to cherish the fact that someone wanted to get to know the real me. You offered me kindness when I felt I didn't deserve it. I don't know where life took you, but I hope you kept that kindness with you. Love, Rose.
Life is hard. Whoever said life is good is lying and is probably overlooking a huge part of their life. I mean, it's perfectly fine to overlook the bad things, but they still exist, no doubt about it. Nothing comes without its share of hardships. But despite those rotten moments that you'd rather forget, you can find those good moments sprinkled in. Life can be good if you decide to look at the sun instead of the gray clouds around it. People tell me that life, it gets better, as long as you keep moving forward and not let yourself get swallowed up in the bad moments. And I think I'm finally starting to believe them. Look, Sealer, all I'm saying is that Avatar 100% beats Futurama as the best show to ever exist. It's undeniable.
Oh, come on. Admit that you're wrong, Stan.
Futurama had 7 seasons. Avatar had what, 3? That doesn't make it better. I mean, think about the quality of the show, the world building, the fantasy, the characters. Well, I've never seen it, so how would I know? You're unbelievable. What about you, Jess?
I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. This conversation is incredibly boring. Plus, those shows are incredibly different, so comparing is useless.
Hey, can I catch up with you guys later? I kind of lazy to read.
No, do it. You're not going to please take your side. Avatar or Futurama.
Avatar, clearly.
Ha! That's 2-1. You lose. Whatever.
Get it, Queenie?
You got this. What's up?
Quinn, God, there are other ways to approach people, you know.
I'm sorry. Did I interrupt your tunes? What were you listening to anyway? Your usual weird music?
Well, if you're gonna put it that way, then why do you want to know? I thought you weren't interested in anything that wasn't classic rock or whatever it is you listen to nowadays.
Okay, that was wounded. But seriously, your weird music can be kind of endearing. Can I have a listen?
Sure, I guess. Why not?
You know, not gonna lie, that's not terrible. I expect you to listen to love songs like that, though.
See, my weird music can be good. So how's your day been?
You know, it's definitely getting better. It's pretty out, beautiful weather, you know.
I know, finally a break from all the rain. Normally I'd go back to my apartment and just sleep the day away, but on days like this I can't help but want to be outside. Like if I was inside, I don't think I'd be able to focus, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
So, what did you decide to write about for Bennett's assignment?
For the journals? Yeah, my moms and I used to take some trips up to Canada, so I wrote about those. The good ones, at least. You know, some of them were pretty awful. One time we went to long story. But what about you?
I decided to write some letters to some friends I had growing up. It's pretty therapeutic, to be honest. Just being able to get all my thoughts out on the paper, things I wish went differently, things I wish I could tell my past self.
Well, what would you tell her?
Huh?
Your past self. What would you tell her if you had the chance?
I'd tell her to be proud of herself, and to not be so scared of change. Growing up, I had trouble accepting that not everything in life is permanent. I didn't want to let go of the past, and I guess I still kind of don't. but I just wish you could see how much I've changed. I'm grown, I'm more confident in my life, I'm proud of myself, and she just never seemed like she was, and I wish I could help her in some way.
So, you want to bring your past self-help even though she only exists in this Rose I see in front of me?
Yeah, I want to be able to look back at her and feel content. That's why I like writing these letters so much. They're helping me tie up some loose ends, I guess. Sorry for rambling on like that.
No, don't apologize. Your rambling is cute.
It's cute.
I mean, yeah, everything about you is kind of adorable. Your bizarre music taste, your ability to jabber on for like hours on end and still keep me totally engaged. It's cute.
Thank you, I guess.
Well, actually, that kind of reminds me. I was wondering if you wanted to go out with me sometime, get some coffee, maybe. Actually, there's this really cool AC/DC tribute band coming to town. I think you would really like them. I could score some tickets if you were interested.
I'm sorry.
Do you not feel the same?
No, that I'm flattered, really. I
But
am.
you just kind of said.
No, and I love spending time with
Is there
you.
anything I could do differently, Rose?
No, you're great. I love you like a friend.
But you don't love me like.
I don't love you like that.
Like what? I'm confused.
Friend, I don't like boys.
Oh, got.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, sorry, but I'm gonna have to say no.
I shouldn't have even asked. That's sorry for asking.
Sorry. But we could still get coffee together sometime, or go see a movie, just not
Yeah.
together, you know?
Yeah, we could still do that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, see you around.
Yeah. See you around.
Have a good one.
You too. Well, that just happened. What is that?
No. I forgot that. Sorry, and I thought you might like it. Rose for Rose. Thought I was being pretty clever. You should probably just keep it.
Thank you. It's very pretty.
I will be taking.
Oh, yeah, you do that. You do that.
Okay. So, bye now.
Bye.
See you on the flip side.
Uh-huh. Single rose, huh? It's a sweet gesture, but maybe you should have waited for me to say yes before asking you. When's the last time I went on a date anyway? Who am I kidding? I didn't forget. Dear Lucienne, to say that I wish things had gone differently between us is an understatement. If I could go back and change everything, I would. But I would just want to figure out where it all went wrong. Or maybe I was wrong the entire time, and trying to fix our relationship, whatever it was, would just be a waste of time. We haven't spoken since then, the day we graduated high school. I still wonder what was going through your head that night.
I always thought graduation would be more exciting. How so? I don't know. I just guess after 4 years, finally being free of that place would feel amazing, but now I just feel lost.
Trust me, I know how you're feeling. It's a big leap being set loose in the world to do as they please. Maybe it's just me, but I love the feeling.
That really doesn't surprise me, Lucy. You love the unknown.
Exactly. I don't know what tomorrow brings or the day after. The feeling of not knowing where I'm going, that I get to choose, it makes feeling lost all the more exciting.
I just don't understand how you do it. How you live like that. Not saying that it's a bad thing, it just feels foreign to me,
Well, think of it this way. You see all the stars above us? There's a vast universe out there, so big we can't comprehend it. We exist in one minuscule portion of that giant universe. The Milky Way, the solar system, Earth, we're just 2 humans out of 7 billion on a tiny rock floating in the vastness of space.
This seems incredibly nihilistic, especially for you.
You didn't let me finish. To the universe, Rose and Lucienne don't mean much. That can weigh some people down. They feel like their lives don't matter and don't really live. But I see it differently. In the grand scheme of things, we're inconsequential, so why not just live life the way we want to?
You're way too wise for an 18-year-old kid in the middle of nowhere.
I don't see it as wisdom. I find it comforting looking at the stars.
Thinking a little too hard about your place in the universe?
Well, if I'm going to, I may as well do it now. We just graduated high school. We're going off to college. Now I have time to be who I want to be.
I always wondered what was going through your head that night. Did you know while you're going on about the stars and life and the universe and your place in it, that all I could think about was how lucky I was to be your friend? I mean, that's all we ever really were, even if I wanted more. I was completely in love with you. And that night I thought that maybe you felt the same. But all I did was just mess everything up.
So, what are your plans now that we're out of high school, I mean?
I'm almost certain I've told you before.
Well, maybe I'm just forgetful.
Trust me, I'm aware. I want to do something that lets me travel, see the world and broaden my horizons. But you already know that, and I'd much rather hear about you. I think I've done my fair share of talking for one night.
I want to write. I've always loved taking stuff from my brain and being able to put it on paper. Might as well stick to what I'm good at. Pretty different from you, though, huh?
You say that like it's a bad thing. No two people have the same life experiences. We all go in different directions.
Right. Different direction.
Is everything okay, Rose?
Of course not. It's just now sitting in that after the summer I won't get to see you for a
Well,
while.
there's always next summer, and we have phones for a reason. We can still contact each other. Besides, you're my best friend. I don't want that to end just because we're going to different colleges.
About that, about us being best friends, are we?
Of course we are. Why wouldn't we be?
It's just that I've been thinking about you and me. Lucy, you've been my closest friend for years now, and there's no one else I'd rather spend time with.
Makes sense. Why wouldn't that make us friends?
It's just that the thought of you not being in my life anymore scares me.
You're not alone in feeling that way, but we'll still be together, even with the distance.
That's not really what I mean.
And what do you mean?
It's just that we've been friends for 4 years. And I don't know if you feel the same, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I love you, Lucy. Please say something.
Look, Rose, I just can't.
What?
I can't do this right now. I'm sorry.
What do you mean you can't do this
It's
right
not the
now?
right time for this, Rose.
All the time about living life the way you want and now you're going back on it. If you don't feel the same, just say it.
I never said I didn't feel the same. But with where we are in life, being in a relationship would just hold us back.
Hold us back, you're choking, right?
I'm sorry, I just can't do this.
Can we at least talk about this? Way to go, Rose.
I never really understood you. You're so different, yet I couldn't imagine my life without you. It all happened so fast. One minute you were there, and the next I was completely alone. I was furious at you for leaving. You just left me there. You didn't even try to fix whatever we had. But I was angry at myself for letting you leave. I know there's no point in thinking about this, about you, but people say that if you love somebody, you always will. I don't know if they're right or not. Because even after everything that happened between us, those were still some of the best years of my life. And I still wonder if you thought so too. Love, Rose.
Until now, I never understood why people hated being in love. I thought that maybe we could be together, but now I just feel naive. In just a few minutes, I managed to ruin one of the best friendships I ever had. Why was I so sure she'd feel the same? Just a part of growing up, I guess. Getting your heart broken, losing a friend. But both at the same time, it doesn't feel like growing up. It's just painful. What if it didn't go that way? What if I just talked to her? What if I just ran after her instead of avoiding her out of embarrassment? But life's too short for what ifs. If I hadn't done it, I would have just been left wondering what could have been done. So why did both of them turn?
Hey, Rose. How's your day? Do you want to help me make dinner? I know you said you would, but I got home. I was really hungry, so I figured I'd just start. How was Quinn? Thanks for agreeing to help. Even if you decided you're not going to talk to me for whatever reason.
Oh, stop fussing. You worry too much.
Fussing? Seriously? I'm just trying to make small talk.
Did it ever occur to you that maybe I just don't want to talk about my day?
But is everything okay at least? Did I do something to upset you?
No, you didn't. It's been a long day. The last thing I need is you breathing down my neck.
But you say that like I'm at fault here. I just want to know what's wrong.
Nothing's wrong. I'm not.
You okay? Okay. Just thought you might want to talk about it. But if you're fine, then you're fine. Just whatever it is.
Fine. Just drop it.
Okay.
Turned my letters in today.
That's good, right? That was your last assignment of the year. You must feel relieved.
I didn't finish it. I could only get 3 of the letters done. Do not look at me like that. It should be enough to keep my grade up for all those stupid letters put me through.
You say that like your life story is some big, great tragedy.
I never said that.
You implied it. What do you mean for all those letters put me through? Obviously, you're writing about your past, so it's going to take some time and consideration no matter what.
Well, maybe I just couldn't handle doing that right now.
Well, if I were you, I probably would have just written.
Lydia, I swear to God, you are not me. You're Miss Lydia Stevenson, pre-med student and top of our class. I am just Rose, who wants to be an author but can't even bear to think about her childhood for one stupid assignment. I'm sorry that not all of us are completely perfect with how our lives are going, because some of us are way dad-like.
And what, you think that I'm not? You think I'm perfectly fine? I had to grow up as the oldest of 6 siblings with no mom. My dad was out every single day working 2 jobs. And I regret leaving them and coming here every single day, even if he was the one to tell me to go. Oh my God, it's just...
I'm sorry that I can't stand here and pretend that I'm proud of everything I've done in my life. I left Cecil behind for no good reason. He was my first true friend, and I just left him for other friends. And I was afraid of being honest with Dave, because I was afraid of being pushed away by the only people who bothered to give me the time of day. And Lucy, I didn't even bother to go after her. I just let her walk away. Every day, I think about everything that's happened in my life, and every day I wish I could change things, but I can't change anything, and I hate it.
Hey, look at me. First, I just want to say that I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so pushy. I wanted you to talk to me.
I know. I just really didn't want to think about it right now.
And you're not alone in feeling like that. I mean, everyone has mistakes, regrets, and things they wish they did differently.
I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gotten mad at you for just trying to help.
Then we're both forgiven. You don't need to thank me. We can talk about this anytime. I promise not to be so overbearing, as long as you promise to come to me next time you need to talk, okay? It's not good to keep this kind of stuff bottled up.
Okay. I'll try. Just, how do you do it?
Do what? Move on from the past?
Yeah, you just never seem like someone who'd be full of past regrets. You seem so organized and put together.
No. Trust me, I am. I think that everyone has regrets and things they wish they could change, but you can't change those kind of things. You have to just acknowledge them, accept that they're said and done, and figure out a way to move on. Because you can't change your beginning, but you always have the power to change where you go from here.
Thank you. Not just for this, but for everything, I guess.
No thanking me. Seriously, I'll hate you forever if you do.
Oh, I never bluff when I see one. Who could hate me? I'm an absolute joy to be around.
Oh, I know. Why do you think we're still roommates? But really, I'm proud of you. Ignore all the sarcasm and yelling. I know it can be hard to take the first step, and it's not always easy, but this is a good place to start.
A proud mother hen, huh?
Oh my gosh, you spend too much time at that cafe with Dustin.
Oh, as if you're complaining. I must be your best paying customer.
Wouldn't surprise me if you were. What are you gonna do now?
Well, I should probably write those letters. Even if Bennett doesn't accept them late, at least they're done, right? And besides, I have a new lens to look at it through thanks to you.
Oh my gosh, no more thanking me. I'm gonna be totally honest here. I do not feel like finishing dinner anymore.
Yeah, me neither. Want to go to the Italian place down the street?
Or we could get takeout and have the movie marathon you mentioned.
I like the way you think. Okay. All I have to do is just ask for an extension. Oh, I'm sure it'll go fine. Hey, that's what I thought you hated calling people on the phone.
Oh, trust me, I still do. People prefer calling over texting. Beyond me.
Okay, so what is this about? Aren't you working right now?
Yeah, no, I'm at work. I'm on a break.
Okay. And?
Well, I wanted to call you because Lydia told me about your talk last night.
Oh. How much did she say?
Well, no, it's okay. I mean, she said that, I could tell something was on her mind, and not often that Lydia gets distracted, especially at work. And since you weren't here like you always were, I thought something was up. But she said you were, stressed out about your childhood?
Yeah, things got a bit heated. But she's alright at least?
Yeah, she's fine. Talking about it helped. But I didn't call you to talk about Lydia. I wanted to let you know there's people in your life who care about you. And your friends, they're more than ready to listen. Remember that.
Well, thank you, Dustin. That's very kind of you.
Well, anyway, I gotta go. Good luck with whatever you're doing.
Yeah, you too. Tell Lydia I say hi.
Will do.
Alright.
Yes, come in. Good morning, Mrs. Rose. What brings you here so early?
I was hoping I could talk to you about that assignment I turned in the other day.
I presume you mean the one that was incomplete?
Yeah, that would be the one.
Miss Rose, I was rather disappointed you did not complete the assignment, despite the ample time you were given to do so. However, the work you turned in the other day, despite its state of incompleteness, was very well written. I assumed my students would see this as a simple, easy assignment to complete.
Well, yeah, but
Please, let me finish, Miss Rose.
yes, ma'am.
You went above my expectations for this assignment, especially considering it was the last year, which is why, despite its state of incompleteness, I chose to give you a passing grade.
Really?
Of course, I wouldn't want one of my students to fail this close to the end of the year, especially if she's one of my best writers. I was impressed by what you wrote, despite not being the most conventional of pieces. Why did you choose to write letters of all things?
A friend of mine told me I was kind of stuck in the past. I didn't realize that all of my memories with my friends were just sort of incomplete. So I wrote the letters to get a sense of closure, I guess.
You're very lucky to have a friend like that to help you through.
I know, even if she doesn't let me tell her that.
So, the letters. They were all written to people who were very important to you?
Definitely.
Then, why was there no fourth letter? There must be someone else who was important to you.
I know, but I racked my brain for hours and I just couldn't think of anybody. Those three, Cecil, Beatrice, and Lucienne, were the closest friends I ever had.
I don't mean someone you were close with. I mean someone important to to you? Anyone come to mind?
No.
Let's make a deal, Miss Rose. Your work has already been graded, so I believe these belong to you. As a compromise, I'd like you to send them to your friends.
But how would I even get these to them?
You all grew up in the same town, yes?
Yeah.
Then there must be some way to get them to them. And send them as they are, not as a, what is it, FaceTube?
No. Facebook?
Is that the one with the bird?
Nope.
Either way, send them in the mail, please.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Bennett.
I was not finished. There is another part of this compromise. Okie dokie. Earlier, you said that no one came to mind when you're trying to think of a person who was very important to you, correct?
Yeah.
I believe there is one important person in your life you're forgetting about. Yourself.
Myself?
Despite the fact that your work has already been graded, I would like you to consider writing a full venture, even if it never ends up on my desk. Consider it at least, Miss Rose. Have a good day.
A letter to myself, huh?
Well,
Looks like I've got a lot of work to do.
Well, Rose, it was incredible hearing from you after all this time. How long has it been? 8, 9 years? Time flies, doesn't it? Obviously, I can't speak for you, but from your letters, it seems like you've really changed. In a good way, of course. You just don't seem like the girl I knew way back when. You seem much more sure of yourself and who you are. Or at least who you want to be. Not really sure what made you want to write to me, but I'm glad you did. Looking back on it now, I realize our friendship was a bit weird. It kind of petered out, and I'm still not sure why you wanted to be friends with people like us in the first place. But I realize we were all just trying to get by one way or another. Only you knew how to put it into your words, into your writing. I'm much happier with myself now, and I hope you are too. Best wishes, Beatrice.
Rose, this was unexpected to say the least. I thought that after that summer you wouldn't ever want to speak with me again. It wasn't my intention, but things change and life takes them away. I'm sorry that things ended the way they did, but that's just the way things go sometimes. I'm glad we knew each other, but I still believe it was best we went our separate ways. I can tell you wish we didn't. Perhaps you were just reminiscing about how you felt at the time, but if not, you need to move on, Rose. What's done is done. I never wanted us to grow apart like that, but we did, and that's that. You were my best friend, but as you grow up, some things are better left in the past. Still, it was nice hearing from you. I'm glad to see you're still writing after all this time. I suppose not everything changes. With love, Lucian.
Rose, hi. It's been so long. Too long, really. Sorry for the late reply. It's been a while since I got an actual handwritten letter in the mail. So yours was quite a pleasant surprise. Everything you wrote felt so genuine. It reminded me of home, and I wanted to thank you for that. It felt like a reality check, and it got me wondering what happened to everybody we grew up with, where they are now, what they're doing. Your letter helped me remind me of where we came from, and during such a stressful time in our lives. Your letter was incredibly beneficial. I'm not sure how Jen and I sound in writing, especially compared to you. So, I was hoping maybe we could get together and recount more stories from our childhoods. Oh, and I'll leave my number at the bottom in case you want to reach out. Even if we both changed considerably, Rose, you are my first real friend, and I'd love to talk to you some more. Sincerely, Cecil.
Dear childhood, the first thing I want to say is that I'm sorry. I'm so unbelievably sorry. I neglected you, I've ignored you, I haven't listened, and truth be told, I didn't want to. I made the conscious decision to ignore you. I didn't want to look at myself and feel regret. Regret that I wasn't who I was meant to be, that I tried too hard to be someone that I am not. But now I see that the only way to move on is to accept you and acknowledge you.
What, so you finally decide to help me when you think it'll benefit you? Do you have any idea what it's like to be shut out like that? To be ignored and left in the dust?
I don't, but I'm here now. I want to help you.
Trying isn't good enough anymore. You weren't there when I needed you. You weren't there for me when I needed advice, when I needed help getting through things.
But I'm here now. Just hear me out, please.
Fine. Might as well start making up for those times you've ignored me.
Okay. I've made great mistakes in my life. And you will too. I didn't cherish the friends I had in the moment. I've spent the last week trying to make up for those forgotten days. I mean, you know how we try to live, just going with the flow. But that night I started forgetting things, and I thought it'd be better to just not think about the past because...
Tomorrow's a new day, so I bring yesterday into it?
Right. So I stopped thinking about the past, didn't worry about the future. But now I see how much that hurt, not only me, but you as well, Rose. Rose, I get what you're going through. I felt what you're feeling, and I know why you're so upset with me, because all you needed was advice. Rose, look at me. I know that no matter what I say to you, your future is set in stone, and nothing you do can change that. But you can embrace it with open arms. You can't hide from the past, because it follows us, and it exists within me just like it exists within you. Why run from something when you can look it in the eyes and show it that you care? Rose, the past is already written. You just need to read it and understand it.
Let me guess, you got that from Cecil?
It may have come to mind when I finally wrote him.
We talked about Cecil again, like not child Cecil. How's he doing?
We're not talking about Cecil. We're talking about you here. Rose, what do you want from the future?
Well, what do you want from the past?
To accept it and learn that it's not going to change. You're completely dodging the question.
I learned from the best.
Yeah, I know. But really, what do you want from the future?
I just want to know why it's so difficult. I'm always stuck in the same place I've always been.
And you will be. I mean, it's hard, but it takes time. You'll get there eventually, Rose.
I just don't know.
Rose, you're capable of such amazing things. You just need to find it within yourself to accept your faults and accept your past. You'll lead an amazing life so long as you remember that.
I will.
Wishing you all the luck with your future. Take care, Rose.
Some of you may be old enough, like me, to remember the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, New York. And if you're like me, a hockey enthusiast, I was a hockey player when I was a young person, you remember the Miracle on Ice. When the United States hockey team went up against the most unbelievable hockey team in the world, the USSR, their history department. I just got my facts right. The Soviet team couldn't be beat. And Tretiak was the #1 goaltender in the world. He could stop anything. But someone forgot to tell the U.S. team. And I was 21 years old, and I saw the entire game. I saw every game. And if you remember, if you're old enough, some of you may have to look it up on whatever you look it up on. Al Michaels was broadcasting with 7 seconds left in the semifinal round. He said the infamous words, those famous words, "Do you believe in miracles?" And the United States defeated USSR. In fact, the #1 goalie in the world was pulled and benched because he let up a goal. And the coach for the United States team turned to his players on the bench and said, "Gentlemen, the Russians have just sat down the #1 goaltender on the planet." And they went on to win. And then they went on to win the gold medal. That was a miracle. For me, the definition of a miracle is belief into action. You have to believe and you have to act. And you may get a miracle. This year has been very difficult for you. I don't have to tell anybody in this theater, any parent, any grandparent. I certainly don't have to tell my fellow colleagues at 826. This has been a ridiculous 14 months. It's been absurd. And somehow, belief into action has created a miracle. And the other belief and action and miracle is standing right here. Katie Card. We all know that every family has their quirks. Every family has their mannerisms. Here's the card quirk. It runs in the females of the family. It's this. Now, when I used to come ask my stage manager, Hannah, I would turn to her at the end of a rehearsal or at the end of a scene or at the end of something, and I would say, "Stage manager, do you have anything to say?" And this is what I got. Whenever I ask our playwright in residence about anything, because the playwright at 826 always gets the last word, because the playwright is the most important person in the room. I turn to Katie and I say, "Playwright, do you have anything to say?" Now we're laughing, as we should. But if you think about it, the Card family in this pandemic has given us a gift. What is that gift, you may ask? One thumb is not enough, Mr. O'Leary. I need 2. Because 2 thumbs equals pillars. 2 thumbs will hold up the building. 2 thumbs will bring belief into action. We've needed that this year. We have. The fact that you're here today in our new theater, in our new school, thank you for paying for it, by the way. That's a big bill. We're grateful. We're so grateful. I vowed to myself that if anything happened this year, no matter what happened, Katie Card was going to get her play. I didn't care where we did it. I didn't care how we did it. I vowed that Katie Card would get her play. And she has gotten her play. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that I introduce to you our 20th consecutive student writer, senior Katie Card.
time in my life. And just being able to see it performed on stage throughout these last couple months has been such a gift. And I thank you all for being part of it. Thank you.
We have 2 more performances tomorrow at 2 and Friday at 4. Friday at 4. If you're so inclined, there's a big blue bucket over there that they usually throw on coaches when they win, especially when they have belief into action. If you're so inclined to throw $1 or $5 or some of Elon Musk's millions, we'll take it. All proceeds go right back into the Morse Drama family. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Thanks for coming, everybody.